Hey, how's it going? Please take a look at my signs. Whoa! Before I get started. So, I'm feeling, I have to admit, a little down. There are a number of reasons. I will go into some of it with you. First of all, I had a reading. I talked about this in my last video. I paid for someone to do a reading for me, a card reading, tarot reading, I think. I think they were tarot cards. They could have been oracle cards because it wasn't an in-person reading. And I saw the backs of the cards, so I don't know which kind they were. It doesn't matter, though. I got the reading, and it was a good reading. It basically reinforced things that I already knew. Reinforced is not the word I wanted to use, and I'm not happy about it, but I'll just accept it, I suppose. So, at the end of it, she said something that many people have said to me without even having a reading. Like one time, there's this guy, I think his channel is called Healing Vibrations, and he does bowls, singing bowls, crystal, Tibetan. I think he does the whole gamut of bowls. And then he has a cat, so the cat's like a character on his channel, and he talks about the cat a lot. And I guess he has like spiritual stuff that goes on, superimposed text over the video of him playing the bowls or whatever. So I didn't really ever pay attention to that because I like to have the music on in the background for whatever. And he had a poll, and it was like, the question was, what do you like about my channel, or why do you come to my channel, or whatever. And I was like, for the sounds, because that's literally why I was tuning in. And he came back and answered me, which is not unusual, but the way he answered, the answer he gave was, I thought, highly unusual. He said, he started yelling at me, basically, like haranguing me about how he had looked at my channel, and he thought it was like, I don't remember, it was like kind of a backhanded compliment, and he read my energy, and it was good, except I had a dark attachment. And I'm like, okay. And then he was like, give money now to this priest in Africa from a town that's like a total scam, red flag. And I was like, well, first of all, if that's how you're going to ask for a donation, no. And that was enough right there. But that was like probably the second or third time someone had just decided to tell me that I have like a lot of darkness, or I have darkness attached to me. And I'm not saying I don't from time to time. I don't know that it's all the time, because I don't know how I would function otherwise. But here's why I dispute the claim of darkness. For one thing, I'm not sitting around spending my time thinking about how to hurt other people, or just thinking bad thoughts about other people. I don't do that. I am not actively stealing or passively either, like not doing crime stuff. I'm not bullying people. I spend the bulk of my time alone. I really have to be pushed by people to get angry, but I will get angry, and I might get angry inside, but for it to exhibit outwardly, it takes quite a bit, actually. So, I'm not sure, like, what the darkness is exactly about me. I am not, like, I could do better financially, but nothing's holding me back. I'm not like accessing all of the abundance and success, because to me success is not necessarily about having a bunch of money. Money is good, but when money becomes the main focus, then it's not good to me. So I could be better off. I could have made more money at a younger age. I could probably still make money the traditional ways right now, even in the screwed up state of things. But the reason I didn't, it was a choice. I knew like what I am cut out for. I had to do enough in life of things that I was forced, commanded, made to do. And the main thing in life that I've always wanted is to get out from under that. Like, I don't want to be made, told, forced to do stuff. I want to decide to do things. I want to choose to do things myself for my own reasons. And if other things come along that might need to be done, or that I could help with, or that I might also need, I don't need it crammed down my throat or up the other entry, exit. I don't need cloaca. I don't need nobody messes with my cloaca. So, I mean, yeah, if I would have put my energy into, like, I don't know, whatever corporate money, secretary, health, like whatever the traditional woman professions were, or even non-traditional, like I still have not found the thing that I actually want to be doing and spending like the bulk of my time at it for money. If it's not fulfilling to me, like I've already done the other unfulfilling, so I'm not in a rush to go out and make it, like that. Who cares? If I have what I need, like, I'm good. I often could use more. There's things that I don't necessarily need, but that I would want. But if I need something and I don't have it, I generally get it. Like, I don't even have to try, because, I guess I'm protected and helped by spirit, like the creator and my guides and all of that, because I'm not doing darkness things. I'm not, like, I don't think that's right. I feel like I'm doing the things to not have the darkness attached to me, and I think it's working. Like, I know narcissists love me like I'm a bug lamp or something, but for the most part, my eyes are pretty wide open, and I know, like, I suspect everybody. Like, each new person I meet makes me more suspicious for the next one that comes along, because narcissists cannot not lie and betray you. Not lie to you and betray you. Like, I don't know, like, if it's a physical thing or something, but it is tiring. So, those are my thoughts on the darkness everybody wants to attach to me. And like I said, I'm not going to say I don't have darkness, but I feel like what I do have, like the depression feelings, or, like feeling the blues or whatever, because I don't even know if I would say that I'm low-key depressed. I think I'm kind of aware of the things, and it's like, that is the kind of darkness that I feel like tries to get all over me and influence me. Hold on, I gotta pause this. Okay, well, now I completely forgot what I was saying. I know I was talking about darkness, and I mean, I don't get why people are getting that off of me. Oh, but yes, I was talking about my own darkness. That is definitely there. I mean, just right now, while I had to leave, it's like just interacting with people can be incredibly frustrating. And I am a people pleaser, which I want to get out of that because I end up being a people pleasing doormat. And I have been wanting to break that so long, and I just don't know. I don't know how to get that to work. I keep trying though. And the narcissists love me, man. Like I said, I'm like a bug lamp. They just want to suck the energy and life out of me. Just vampires, man. And I do my best to stay away from people as much as possible. A lot of it happens in person a lot, of course. I don't even think people know they're doing it when they're being the energy vampire. So, but anyway, did I already do this one? I don't think so. This is the next card, and it says, why be unhappy when your soul is in full bloom? Health, spiritual growth, choosing happiness. Okay, that is pretty much in a line with where I'm headed, because, whether it's darkness from inside of you or darkness that engages with you from the outside, or the world is dark, everyone is having to contend with this. And part of making the jump to the new timeline that I talked about in my last video is that you can be depressed and sad, or you can be sick of feeling depressed and sad and get out of it. And I mean, that maybe you could even call that also a form of jumping to another timeline, just leaving that old state that is sticky and dark and gummy, and you can't really extricate yourself from it because it's affecting you. I mean, you can, but the whole time you're trying to extricate yourself, it's trying to drag you in. So yeah, it's something that you have to do constantly, I feel like. Or when I say you, I mean me. I don't know how you're feeling with all of this stuff going on. But like I said in previous videos, that I've noticed that immediately after the election, although there was reason, oh God, yes, there was reason, because Mr. Trump immediately made a lot of us that didn't want him in office feel very terrible about the idea of him being there. And they were reflecting it in this way that I was just like, you really want to slow down, because they're already defeated. I'm not gonna repeat verbatim what they were saying, but they were like, oh my God, it's 2 days in and it's already terrible. And it's yeah, but it's only 2 days. Really pace yourself is, I guess, the advice that I would give, because you're gonna be dust in 6 months if you're already let stuff happen first. And yes, stuff happened, and it sounded bad, and it continues to sound bad, and sometimes it actually gets enacted into bad. But you can either say, okay, well, yeah, that sucks, but there's also this over here that is not sucky and horrible. And so many things have gone away that we loved and were attached to and feel nostalgia for, that some things are not recoverable, but you can make new, and you can recall, but you don't have to relive it. And this is for all of the people that want to take us 500 years in the past. We don't all have to relive it with you. That's why you get to do it in your head. That's how you don't hurt other people. Other people don't have to be dragged into your whatever. I have people in mind, but I'm just going to keep it to myself, keeping it light, keeping it positive. Like, you kind of have to do it. And that's another thing that I feel like I stay out of the darkness when, you know, I will watch a lot of, sorry about that spoonerism that just tried to slip in there. I do watch a lot of sort of political leaning programming because it's of interest to me, because if it goes wrong, it directly affects my life. So I kind of want to keep abreast of the situation that's happening with social services in particular. That's my bread and butter. It would be bad if that went down. So of course I'm going to pay attention. And, you know, like in my case, it could be really doomy, because that kind of is the basis for my whole existence. Like, everything that I have is because I have social services. And the idea of losing that safety net is horrifying. I don't have to think about that yet. I mean, I can extrapolate forward down, like, what could happen negatively, and I'm not going to, because I don't need to. Just the knowledge that it wouldn't be great is enough. And so I'm choosing happiness, as this card prescribes. And, you know, I feel like a lot of us believe that you have to experience pain for you to learn something from an experience. I'm going to just say that I know potential pain can be there. I know I could step right in it. I can drive it. I can make it happen my own silly self. But I can also choose happiness and choose not to go down a negative path. Like, not spend time sitting around just talking crap about people. I'm not completely immune. Occasionally I will go there, but it's there's a purpose. Like, at this point of the game in the United States, it's a matter of what you can do to resist the forces that I feel are negative against what I want. But, you know, like I talked about this before, I'm a left-leaning person. A right-leaning person might be feeling the same way about left-leaning forces coming down on them and making them feel like confined and in a box. Oh, and that reminds me. Last video I talked about how I'd been seeing, like, the right-hand bottom corner of, like, a picture frame. And then I think about a day or two after I talked about that, while I was doing a video, I had, like, a thing that was like a deja vu, and maybe like I didn't really know what was going on, so it felt like a deja vu, and then it didn't, and then I, like, saw something, and what I saw was so weird, it didn't make sense. And what I saw was basically people, I think it was people, I think it was not just person, sort of smashed into a corner, like if you're in a bus and it stops suddenly, and because there's no seatbelts on a city bus, everybody's gonna go flying if there's a collision. So something like that happened, but I don't think it was like a bus thing. I have no idea really what it was. I just know that there was, like, a yellow cable knit sweater, like a pullover sweater, a jumper to Brits, I guess, and Australians, and then there was, like, a jeans clad leg, like a thigh and a part of a bent knee, but they were all crammed into this little space, and I realized they were crammed into, like, a bottom right corner. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it has something to do with, like, society. I don't know. I'll let you know if I come up with anything more on that. So I'm just going to move on to the next card. But yeah, you can choose not to, like, have darkness in your thoughts. And the more light that you bring into your being, the more light that you will have to use in defense against darkness. Like, you can, like, make it run for the hills. That's what darkness does when you turn on the lights. Okay, so here's the next card. Give you a look at it. I am actually not familiar with that one, so I also am going to take a look. It looks like some kind of book. I don't know why it has a little magnifying glass. Anyway, let me read what it says. Don't live the stories of others, write your own. Creativity, adventure, find your genius. That is the way I think to stay away from darkness. And actually, like, that's good advice to not live the lives of others and to write your own, because somebody already has that life. That's their experiences. Like, there's no profit to model yourself after someone else and not, devise your own model, because it's never going to be satisfying. It's never going to be your accolade. It's never going to be your pride. It's never going to be your, award, because you are posing as someone else. You are inhabiting someone else's experience. So I don't know why you would do all of that. I mean, a little bit, but some people just lose themselves in that. And it's like, you have a self and you lost it in somebody else's stuff. I think that's weird. Like I said, like, a little bit you could do it, or especially like if you're young, you would want to emulate someone by imitating them. But even if you're young, eventually you grow out of it. We all just continue to evolve continually. So I feel like then it would turn into like you really having to make an effort to, like, I guess, be like this other person that you admire. And when you're like skipping, what if there's something completely wildly admirable about you and no one is getting to know about it, including you, because you're worried about imitating someone else? That could happen in a number of ways. There are people that have done plastic surgery to appear like someone else. That's taking it way too far. So yeah, don't live the stories of others. Write your own. That's probably healthier. And creativity, like, I think it will save you, whatever form that takes. And I think people are intimidated by ideas like creativity is this one thing. It doesn't have to be painting. It doesn't have to be painting like Michelangelo or Bob the Painter on PBS with the afro, the white man afro. It can be whatever kind of thing that you enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be art. It doesn't have to be music. It could just be something that you like doing. Like, if you like to pop bubble wrap, maybe you pop it to music. Maybe you dance. It could be anything. As long as you like it and it gives you joy, you enjoy doing it. You're enjoyed. Oh, look at that. Anyway, adventure, find your genius. I guess adventure is the search, and you get to try pretty much anything you want. I mean, within reason, right? So here's the next card. The dolphins are happy. Dolphins are a symbol for joy. And, well, anyway, so the card reads, be with those who help your being. Like attracts like. Choose friends carefully. Well, that is good advice. And, I'm having kind of a hard time right now with the whole, sort of isolation, feelings of isolation, but also I inadvertently put myself in a place physically, like where I live, my location, and placed myself in isolation. So it's a weird thing. It's kind of like I'm an only child, so it feels right, to kind of be by myself. But it's like a combination of things. Like, I'm one of the group of people I know that I grew up with back at home in Los Angeles who didn't marry and have a family. And so I don't have like my own personal family group. My other family, like aunts and uncles and cousins and things like that, they leave me alone. And if they don't, it's like, it's uncomfortable for me because I feel like I'm constantly having to like apologize for how I am or what I say, or like I can't do anything right with those people. Everybody's got an opinion, but I have to say, I'm very proud of the fact that my ass managed to stay out of jail and rehab, and that's all I can say. But sure, I'm the bad guy. So, yeah, look for those who help your being. That's a hard one because, like attracts like. I have not experienced anything like that in a long time. And when you get to be my age and your friends and your peers are starting to die, it gets even harder to find friends, I guess. But one thing that is prominent if you're like into the metaphysical circles, and that is to find your happiness and to ground yourself, is to go inward, check all of your feelings, get to know them, even if it's uncomfortable, because that is a good thing for you. Like, that's a way to get over and through emotional hurdles, because you have to just look at them. You have to like shine a light on your darkness. You have to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and see everything there is to see, or at least that's the way I feel about it. And so I guess you have to find the dolphins of yourself. You have to find the dolphins in yourself, and I don't know, man, like twin with your inner dolphin, I guess. Because I mean, even the stuff that I talked about, it's always, I think these days, hard for people to find connection and community with other people. And I think it's across all of the ages. Maybe children have an easier time with it because they haven't known people for as long. They have less baggage of that type. So here's the last card. This one also I don't think I've seen before. So it looks kind of like a rocket in a building, and maybe whatever you call the things you launch the rockets off of. Oh, and it's all on a plate or something. Look at it, it's on a platter, an upside down stock pot lid. Yeah, that's futuristic, man. I don't know what that's about. So the card says, forget safety, live where you fear to live. Take a chance, dare to dream, risk pays off. That may be true. So I don't know if I finished the thought about having to go through trauma to get something worthwhile out of an experience, to learn something from it. You can also, I remember like a day or two ago, I was saying that you could invoke your own power, and this is a symbol, gesture, yoga hand gesture, mudra, to help you like fire up the power in yourself to reinforce that. And so when we experience something that looks to be difficult, maybe we can, once we have like I guess experience, build up an ability to in the moment say, you know what, I don't want to do this the hard, painful way. Like, maybe I don't have to be sad and depressed and scared and cowering. And, I was talking about this yesterday. With everything crumbling and falling apart, what a better time to take your shot than now at something that you were always like, I didn't have enough money, I didn't have enough people, I didn't have enough time, I didn't have enough material. Maybe now is the time that every person that is like maybe starting a business, like maybe that's what I was describing, is someone wanting to do it and they're just not taking that first step for, this, that, and the other thing. Like, now, since everything's a mess anyway, and you don't really know what the future holds, you might as well shoot your shot now. I mean, what have you got to lose? Like, if you already are feeling like, I'm losing it, everything's losing it, I'm losing it, now's the time. The time is now. So, you can, in the moment, take control of situations, and even if it's something bad and terrible, the one thing that you can know is that it was probably inevitable. You could see it coming. So, especially in that case, you have, that's points, I feel like, for you. Like, if you know some difficulty is coming, you got that much going for you. You're not caught totally unawares. And that's what I mean by, like, taking control of the situation. In many ways, if you see a train coming and your foot is stuck in the track, or your shoe is, step out of your shoe. You have that much control. You're going to lose the shoe. Better than losing the foot and the leg and the whole rest of you. I mean, like, a disaster may be about to happen, but you have control. You do have choices. And if you choose to step out of your shoe, woohoo, you get to be happy and alive. And, points for making that choice. So, take a chance, dare to dream, risk pays off. Whatever you've been holding back on out of fear, or whatever excuses or reasons you've come up with for not doing it, they may have been all well and true and good and all of that, but eventually you gotta try, and you gotta know that you may have to try many times because you fail, because that's what comes with trying. But taking a risk is healthy. Sitting around hiding and saying I shoulda and regretting stuff later. No, you have to have heard this. No one enjoys that. No one likes it. So I'm going to wrap up here. But yesterday, when I did a reading, I was putting these same cards away. And this is the Sacred Soul Messages deck. And I was shuffling them to put them back in the box, and this came flying out, and it kind of applies to yesterday, today, and every day. And I'm going to let you look at it. It is the Lantern, and it reads, I know you are tired, but come, this is the way. Renewal, keep going, your path is revealed. So, I don't know. I mean, I do know why this came to mind. The lantern, in your darkest moment, you always have that, so you can light your own way in the darkness. You can be aware that the darkness might be your own depression trying to creep up on you. And I know not everyone is equipped to pull themselves up out of it, but in most cases, I think we can. And I think that we don't because we think we can't. But give yourself credit, because you are powerful. Invoke that power and say, whatever you need to yourself. Because I'm not going to prescribe how to tell you to work on healing yourself. That is for you to formulate. But I can help you, like, know of ways to help yourself. Like doing this for, I don't know, 4 minutes would be helpful to you, because you know that you're doing it to invoke your power, to support yourself, your inner strength. And so I can share that with you, and then you can go from there with it. But that will help fire your lamp, like confidence. And like it doesn't even have to be like confidence. It could just be like knowing that whatever you do is ultimately going to be okay. Like if you're like, say, take the Fool card in the tarot deck with the hobo and the little dog just jauntily and happily stepping off a cliff into, I mean, you don't know if it's 600-foot drop or 6 inches. You don't really see that, but maybe that's also a metaphor for life and taking risks. And there's such a thing as stagnancy, and that's when you just are stuck in place and you're not taking a risk, and maybe your light went out because you are not believing in yourself or your power in the darkness, but you kind of have to. And like the darkness can close in, and it says here, I know you're tired, but you have to just like kindle the light inside yourself, and we have to do it over and over, and that's life. That's what happens, we ebb and we flow. And it says renewal on here. Like every time you can drag yourself up out of the darkness again, or find your way out of it and keep your light lit, that is points for you. It makes your soul feel good. And other people might not be as adept at finding their way through the darkness. That's a reason for you to continue doing it yourself, because people can follow in your wake, and then they can also take note of what you're doing and learn to lead other people. And you don't even have to like go around saying, I am going to lead you. Like, the best demonstration is the way you live. And so we're all kind of in this period of like, it feels like really dark times, and it is certainly darker than most of us are used to. But in other places in the world, this happens every 3 or 4 years. And I'm not saying that's okay. That's just like how it happens, and I certainly don't want to experience that kind of life. That sounds like too exciting for me. Too much stress. But those are my thoughts on darkness and me being in possession of darkness for some reason. It definitely tries to come get me, but I'm not letting it win, because I know better now. Like, that is, at least that is the experience of 60 plus years, is that you learn to know when it's coming. And do I want to go through that? Nah, not really, Sometimes you do. Sometimes you got to feel some grief and some anger and some sadness or whatever, but like the wind, it'll pass. Okay. Thank you and good night. Stay light. Sorry, that was